It's that time again. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Well, not yet. It hasn't been 1 week. It's actually been a day. It's been a hiccup. We did a stream yesterday, mañana. It was a fun live stream. I'm glad everyone could join in. It was a good time had by all, or at least by me. I don't know if everyone had a good time. We talked New York Giants. We talked everything going on. Today, I want to kind of pontificate a moment about Michael Penix. I want to pontificate about the draft, maybe grab him in a running back. I also want to talk about Justin Fields for a second because I'm still perturbed. And that's a good word. I'm perturbed about the Justin Fields trade to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really am. I'm a little bothered by it. Pittsburgh Steelers had a quarterback room of Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett. They got rid of all three. I brought in Russell Wilson, two-time Super Bowl participant, one-time Super Bowl MVP. He had an okay year last year, but he still threw for like 28 touchdowns and like 8 interceptions or some crazy shit like that, a 5-game winning streak. And they pick up Justin Fields, so they get their developmental guy as well. Their quarterback bucket, like we always talk about in the salary cap, this year is $4.5 million, which allowed them to go out and get like a Patrick Queen, allowed them to make other moves that helped strengthen their team, strengthen their organization, because they're trying to find players that can move the needle. We've talked about this before. We talked about Brian Burns. Not that I don't like the Brian Burns trades, but do I think that Brian Burns moves the needle? Do I think when you look at that win-loss needle that he's going to move it one direction or the other? Is he worth 3 wins? We talked about it during the playoff run a couple of years back, that if you subtracted Saquon Barkley from that team, there was about 5 to 6 wins the Giants do not have without Saquon Barkley. And they made the play. They won 9 games and started 7-2 and made the playoffs. When Barkley was just getting keyed on, we had no passing game. We had nothing else going on. The Giants went from a 7-2 record to only winning 2 games the remainder of the season because our 3,000-yard quarterback just wasn't cutting it. So without Barkley, that win-loss needle would have moved into the loss direction. So the question is, with the Burns trade and what it did to the cap this year and next year and the years to come, is that going to move the needle? Is that going to push the needle to 3 additional wins? Or is it just going to keep the needle center? And I don't like the fact that, like I said, Steelers, who have been a perennial organization, it should be a blueprint of an organization to watch. They should be the model. You want to talk about blueprint organization? They may not have the championship, so they always make the playoffs. They're always competitive. Going back to Bill Cowher, they're always there. And they revamped their entire quarterback room for $4.5 million. And we're stuck with a guy with 2 neck injuries and an ACL. Another guy that we got from the same draft who couldn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater and Geno Smith twice, and Jersey Shore Tommy. And we burned through the majority of our not draft capital, but majority of our cap space to sign not my quote, these were people from this was Greg Shine or Paul Shine, whatever his name's Shine on Sports, and some other people on NFL Radio. Giants paid $25 million for an 8-sack guy. Everyone says the same thing. Good compensation wise. They did well getting him compensation wise, but is he going to take the next step? Is he going to take the next level? And the whole thing is kind of leading to this crescendo, this big buildup. Here's a crescendo. Yeah. I went to college. It's a college word. Crescendo. Thank you for the like over on Twitter. But what is it leading to? It's leading to year 6 of Daniel Jones. It's leading to a potential 5-6 win season. It's leading to the fact that people are already talking about trading back. We've talked about it before. We talked about it yesterday. My biggest concern, and I'm not one of these people that does these mock drafts. I don't do a lot of mock drafts. Who's texting me now? Everyone knows I'm busy working, Big L. I'm working. The New York Post, Justin Fields blocked the trade before landing with the Steelers. Well, evidently, we're getting breaking news here, according to the New York Post. Justin Fields blocked trades with 4 teams before landing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did not know this. That's it. That is very interesting. The 4 suitors were not specified, but of course the Giants were one of the suitors. Well, all right, thank you, Big L. That was breaking the show even better. But my biggest concern is this, and I've said this before, and I'm not much into mock drafts, but I keep looking at this draft scenario, and it scares me. And it scares me the fact because I'm not seeing a lot of people in the draft in 2025 that I'm enamored with in reference to the quarterback room. And that would possibly mean to us that we could potentially be looking at a year 7 with Daniel Jones. I keep looking at a draft board and I keep running these scenarios through my head. Caleb Williams to the Bears. The Commanders grab Jaden Daniels. New England doesn't go wide receiver. They take Drake May. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to the Cardinals. And the Vikings trade up with the Chargers, because why would you, if you were the Vikings, why would you trade with the Giants? Because of the fact that, the Giants might want McCarthy. The Minnesota Vikings use their 2 first-round picks, an additional pick, and whatever else, and trade up with the Chargers and grab JJ McCarthy. So that's going to leave the Giants with the opportunity to either grab a wide receiver, or it's going to leave the Giants the opportunity to grab a offensive lineman, such as Joe Alt, and we've said this before. We're gonna, and then we get the rumors and speculation that Evan Neal's camp was asked would he mind moving to right guard. So we drafted a left tackle, moved him to right tackle. Then we're gonna move him to right guard. We're gonna draft another left tackle, and move him to right tackle next to the right guard who was a left tackle and who was a left tackle in college, but now a right tackle, but then moved to left tackle, right guard. In other words, that's the Giant way. So would there be a potential to grab a Penix? Could we make some kind of maneuverability and move some things around and go after some, draft that wide receiver that we've talked about and get a Penix, get that wide receiver at 6 and maybe trade back into the first round and grab Penix? Well, the problem is you move some of your draft capital. You moved your own 2nd round pick for Burns. You swapped 5th rounders this year, and then you also gave up another 5th rounder. So I mean, you only have 6 picks, so you're gonna have to go into your 2025 draft bucket. And then I sit there and I look at the. We've talked about this before. We have with the rule of 51, we have about $4 million in cap space. Without it, we have like $1 million. And that doesn't include all the other contracts we've already brought into the books, because with the rule of 51, those contracts don't count yet. So the question is going to be this. You think you're going to move back up into the 2nd round. You're going to have to guarantee your 1st round picks money, which is like $4.5 million. You get maybe middle towards the draft again. You're guaranteeing another draft pick, probably around $3.5 million. So that's an additional, let's say, $7 million in guaranteed money for your first two 1st round picks. And your quarterback bucket is now sitting at like $60 million. There's so many moving parts to this. It's not even funny. And like I said, the scary thing is people forget all these numbers do not include the rookie draft pool. They don't include that. And yes, your cap space may be like 10 million, but of course that doesn't mean you have to have that 10 million, because that money's not guaranteed. So you're probably going to have that 10 million. You have to have an additional 4 million with the rule of 51 on those contracts. So right now, the cap space number for the Giants at 6 would be 6 million. So let's just say, argument's sake, you moved to 19. We'll say 19. We'll just pick a number, 19, which is the Rams. So that's 3 million. So your 1st round draft money is going to be $9 million of cap space you are going to need to have immediately with the rule of 51. And then you're going to have to burn through more draft capital. I don't think we're trading down, guys. I'm thinking we are sticking wherever we are. That's what I think we're doing. And I don't think Penix is going to fall to the 2nd. I don't think that. I think he's going to be a mid-round 1st round pick. I said without the knee injury, I think he is the most pro-ready quarterback right now. We're going to get to the chat in a minute. I have to have what they call a monologue. We're going to get to the chat in a minute. Thank you for the big old like on Twitter. But at this point in time, I think we're going to stay where we are because the cap precludes us, because of the Burns deal, to make any swift moves. Big L, I'm sorry I yelled at you for sending me that breaking news that he blocked the trades before landing with the Steelers. We were always trying to figure out what was going on with that deal. We were always trying to figure that out. It's interesting. It is interesting. It is interesting to say the least. Big Chris will love MMA. Item. OBB family, smash that like button. MK5 says, Lord and trade with the Vikings and pick up Penix and Brian Thomas. Like I said, I don't think you can, because then let's say you make that trade with the Vikings. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're making the Vikings trade. So you're going to have $4 million in cap space with the Vikings trade, and then you got to go down and then hope with an additional $3 million. So you got $7 million in guaranteed cap space just from your 2 first rounders. I've said this a million times before, guys. I didn't invent math. I didn't. Math is not something I invented. Big Chris says, hey, Tim, what's up? Wow, another stream. Yeah, we're going to cut back on doing the daily videos. We're going to do streams 3 days a week. We're going to do live lunchtime streams. I'm going to have a concession. We're going to have a regular schedule of dates. So we're going to do at least 2 to 3 streams in the afternoon and then one on Sunday. And then we'll have videos mixed in here and there. I got a lot of other stuff going. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I still always want to talk Giants. What's up, Tim? DJ still sucks. He does. Chris says, our only hope is to draft Penix, trade back a few and draft them. That would be an idea. Trade back for Penix and get lower second-round picks or third-round picks and revamp your roster. Because you have to remember this, and it's one of the, we've talked about this, and nobody wants to talk about this except for me. We've talked about this before. If you look at what the Giant cap numbers are, it's a little scary. And of course, they are going to restructure the contracts of Andrew Thomas. They're going to restructure the contracts of Dexter Lawrence. We all know that's going to happen. We all know that's coming down the road. So they're going to build additional cap space. If our wonderful Darren Waller retires, that's going to give us $7 million in additional cap space. So that's going to be great. But right now, if you look at this number right now, if you look at the cap hits right now for your top 5 players, and top 5 players are Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, and we'll do top 4. Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, and Brian Burns. You take a look at this. We're tabulating it right now. So your cap space for these guys is going to be $47 million. Let's count this out. It's going to be $47 million plus $23 million plus $22 million plus $15 million. So you have $107 million in your cap going towards Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, and Brian Burns. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot for a bad team. That's a lot that you have almost 33% of your cap going to 4 guys, not even 5 guys. Sorry, 4 guys. What's up, OG? OG knockout in his house. Daryl says, good morning, Tim. Good morning, OBB chat. Captain Matumbo, Admiral Matumbo says, spring is near. Get some suntan. Sunlight, lads. I was outside all day today with the dog. I love taking that dog out. Mr. Oliver says, hey, Tim, the Giants definitely should have acquired about Fields. If they didn't, at least it showed how much they're committed to losing with Danny Crimes. I mean, honestly, is that what they're trying to do? I don't know. Is the full thought process, is the full contingency of the Giant organization so delusional and so against every other smart person in the NFL? And we always say, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're usually not. But at that point in time, are they thinking they're smarter than everyone else that is sitting there who sees the exact same thing and is saying, please, for the love of God, get rid of Daniel Jones? I don't know. I don't know. You're hoping it's a facade. You're hoping it's some kind of smoke screen. You're hoping it's a camouflage for a big move in the draft. I'm just not seeing it. Admiral Matumbo says, sports betting, a good side hustle? No, because you could lose. You know what a good side hustle is? Getting a second job and working hard. Mr. McCormick said, what's going on, Tim? What's going on, everyone? DJ is still here. We are cursed.
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here. Not up in here.
Yeah, we are cursed. Daryl says, apparently there are 6 teams interested in the Fields. Yes, and he rejected 4 of them. Thanks to the big El Gigante. You can block a trade if you don't have a no trade clause. I think what they more meant by that is they've even talked about it in Chicago. They were trying to do Justin Fields right. They were trying to send you. If you go back years ago, they offered Tim Tebow the opportunity to pick his spot where he wanted to get traded. And at that point in time, he wanted to go to New York. They tried to send him to the Jacksonville. They wanted to send him to the Jacksonville Jaguars because they thought, we will send him home to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's what we thought. But at the end of the day, he basically said, wherever we're going to try to send you where you want to go. And then I get so aggravated because I went into some Chicago Bears chats and some other things the other day. It was yesterday. It wasn't the other day. It was yesterday. And a lot of fans are broken up about Justin Fields. I posted some of it on Twitter. It's amazing. They said all he did was work hard, blue collar guy. They all loved him. Literally, the fan chat I was in, I think there were 70 to 80 people in that chat. They all loved him. I'm speaking broadly, probably maybe 89% loved him. But then you go on Twitter. They all thought he was this greatest guy in the world. They all thought he was blue collar and one of them, to the point that they even said Chicago loved him. Here was the thing that I posted, and this is when some guy, he says, Justin Fields was more than just a quarterback for the Bears to me. He was hope. He was humble. He was hardworking. He was a gritty guy who was electrifying. He was Chicago. Pittsburgh is a perfect fit, but damn, I'm actually sad about this one. Feels like a friend is moving away. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up to get that from someone in Chicago. And a lot of people had that thought process. And they're worried about Caleb. John says, oh God, no. Not another year of Daniel Jones. Another year 7. I'm just guessing it's gonna be soon. I really am. I'm just guessing. I'm hoping it's not another year of it's Daniel Jones at the 5. It's Daniel Jones at never mind. Everyone will remember that Philly game. The Philly blunder. Mr. Alvarez says the Steelers, Packers, and Niners are some teams that should be looked at as the blueprint because they have maneuvered their money. They know how to draft and still are able to compete. Devin White going to the Eagles just fucking killed me. That literally just killed me. They needed a speed linebacker, and they get a 27-year-old linebacker for like $8 million. If we can get him with a second rounder, that'll be, you know what, D, that would be great. If you could get Penix with a second rounder, I would be enthralled. I would be ecstatic. I say, you want to get me back in the fold as a Giant fan? You want me to put on a Giant hat instead of my F your sensitivity hat? You want me to do that? Go out and do something. Brian Burns did not move the needle for me because you have a redundant player in Kayvon Thibodeau. You have to hope that Brian Burns becomes a destructive force. You have to hope he moves the win needle to like 2 additional wins, because if he doesn't, then you just drafted the same guy. I mean, you just drafted the same guy a couple years ago and then traded for the same guy. As I've talked to people in Chicago, I've talked to people in the greater area of Raleigh, season ticket holders, and they're like, yeah, he does a nice Spider-Man pose, but he gets like 8 sacks and he disappears for 5-6 games in a row. That's telling. People ask me, Tim, when you break down his statistics, Brian Burns says, you break down his statistics. You've done that a couple times now. Why did you do that? Who told you about that? Who told you to do it? You know who told me to do it? Panther fans. Someone that I know that lives in Cary told me, go look at his stats. Go look, even during his best season, how he disappears for games. How his stat line will tell you, you'll see 1 solo tackle. And I believe there was 7 games last year that he either had 0 or 1 solo tackle. And I think there was 5 games he had 0 tackles. Kayvon can do that. OG says, I don't know why the Giant organization loves Daniel Jones so much. What has he done for real? Daniel Jones' stats scream average, mediocre, shaking my head, 2 neck injuries, and he loves to run the ball. I think he better not run the ball now. Big D says, well, we might as well tank and get Sanders next year. I'm not even sold on Sanders yet. I mean, I think he's good. I think he's good right now. But if Sanders is the best quarterback coming out next year and we have like the 1st or 2nd pick, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on him being the franchise. There's more opportunity for guys to be franchise picks, or franchise quarterbacks this year in the first and the second round. Doesn't have to be in the first round. Like I said, you want to go grab Neighbors? Oh, Chipping, my neighbor. I'll be happy. Then you want to make me happier? You want to get me back in the fold? You want me to get me to wear my giant gear and yell like a nut? I don't do that. I'm not 12. I'm sorry, guys. I love the somebody was posting reaction videos of people drafting giant content creators getting all excited about drafting Evan Neal. And I was watching, I'm like, and I even posted and I said, I must have been the only idiot that thought to themselves and said it that night. Why are we drafting a left tackle to play right tackle? And then I watched these people that I said, so I was telling to someone I also goes, I love how they got all excited about this, but I'm not 12 years old. Sorry. Daryl, what's up, big Daryl? Could have had more picks to work with if we only traded Barkley and McKinney before the trade deadline. I agree. You're right. Mr. Rob, yeah. I mean, if you made those trades and people are like, someone on the stream the other day was like, well, we wouldn't have gotten anything for Barkley. No. Joe Shane said Barkley was not available. Joe Shane said McKinney's not available. We're not fielding offers. I'm starting to wonder sometimes about Shane. I really am. Mr. Roberts says Neal played left tackle, left guard his first year of college, but he was a right tackle that was made. People think he could play right tackle. Now the bright idea is that what position he has never played. OG says it's more likely Daniel Jones will get hurt again because he runs the ball and he runs into defense players all the time. Well, it's easier to run into people than try to run around them. Come on, OG, knock that. I still like Danny Deads. Daniel Jones still sings. That's got to be a sound. We got to make that a sound effect. Daniel Jones still sings. Still stinks. All I hope to God is, you know what? We need to have Drew Lock.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
Yeah, I know OGR is one of the guys in the video. I don't care. I like OGR. He says stupid stuff just as much as I say stupid shit. So I don't care. I don't care. What do you think I care for? Why? TG1, why do you think I care? My favorite line is I looked in my pocket, found $0. What am I gonna care? I make fun of my friends all the time. They make fun of me. It's called good nature manly ribbing. Something we used to do before everyone went woke. Let's roll with Danny this year and get Sanders next year. I don't know. I just don't see Sanders yet, but we'll see what happens. Get a wide receiver at 6. Quarterback will wait until the next year. Unfortunately, unless there's a sleeper pick out there in the second round. You can't keep waiting, though, for grab a quarterback. That's the problem, Bruce. How many times have you seen a franchise or heard a franchise say, listen, we're going to get a quarterback next year? And next year never comes. And then you have someone like Drew Lock starting for you. Drew Lock is an upgrade over Tommy DeVito, 100%. Drew Lock, even in my mind, is an upgrade over Tyrod Taylor because while Drew Lock has had some problems with injury, he's not the same age as Tyrod. He's not going to run as much as Tyrod did. Is he a more effective pocket passer and have a better sense of awareness than Tyrod? No, but Tyrod's also on the Jets, so he's our best option. But do we want to keep waiting to find our best? Pittsburgh looked at their quarterback room, looked around and said, damn, this shit is a mess. We sucked the last year because of this quarterback room. What did they do? Got rid of everybody. That's what I love about Mike Tomlin. Kenny Pickett, you want to run your mouth? You don't like it? I'm going to somehow get a 4th rounder from Philly. And then I'm going to go out and get Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And only have $4.5 million committed to my quarterbacks. Oh, dear Lord. Hey, Tim, what's up? Should the Giants trade Waller? No. Just let him retire. I'm not even going to finish the comment. Danny does 6 years of Danny. Are we insane? Go read the new article There is this crazy great website called NewYorkGiantsLive.com, and I got to take the pop-up where it says live stream today, Sunday. I didn't get a chance to do that yet. I wrote an article today. Also, go read the Dama wrote an article.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
NFL is it now truly a global game? That's a good article by Dom, but I wrote an article called The New York Giants, a hilarious prolonged affair with Daniel Jones. So make sure you go and see the article. I actually, I tried to have, I try to give my articles a little bit more panache, a little bit more flair, a little bit more for the dramatic. And make sure we got 126 people, 127 people in this room. Make sure you hit the freaking like button, please. And I'm going to say it politely, please. But the article's got a little flair, a little bit of panache, a little bit of fun, a little bit of goosing. Not really. But it's a good article. I actually enjoyed writing it. Chris says, has Joe Shane reworked any contracts yet to increase the cap space? I don't know if he's done it yet. I'm on the mic. But he's going to. He likes to have $10 million in operational cap space. He needs at least 4.5 for the rookie deals. And like I said, with the rule of 51, we'll see what we have. But I'm just a number. I don't know. He might have. I don't know. Hope he does. I hope he does. It makes sense. It makes sense to rework the Thomas and Lawrence deal. It makes sense to convert some of their salary, because you can't convert all of it, into bonus money, and then save cap space this way. But you also have to remember that some of that bonus money is going to get pushed out to 2025, which is going to hurt your cap space next year. But it makes sense. It truly makes sense to do it. Smash the thumbs up regardless. Regardless of what? Danny Dodd says Daniel Jones and Slayton are the longest tenured Giants, both backups on any other team. I don't think Slayton's a backup. What'd someone ask me? Well, I don't know. Why are you asking me? I love when people ask me questions. I don't know. I'm to answer that text though. Yeah, but I think Slayton is a second or is a 2 or 3 wide receiver on any other team. I think Daniel Jones is a Home Depot worker. Penix is 210 for the Maryland to go. Yeah. I'm not going to say the bad joke I heard. Daniel Jones beyond this upcoming season. Yikes. Razzle Craig says, who doesn't fit out of the 4? I am betting it's a quarterback. I agree too. Mr. Weaver says, Tim, this is what's happening with the Giants winning winless games. Then we always do with your draft is lower your minds. We'll trade the Giants went from the 3rd pick to the 6th pick overall. I know. I was one of those people that was like, I'm not saying tank. I am not saying tank, but I am saying tank, but I'm not saying tank. But to win meaningless games against bad teams, Belichick got shit canned. I know he tendered his resignation and all that, and they moved on amicably with each other, but he is the smartest coach in the world. Truly. He has a chance to win the Giant game. He has an opportunity. He is going in field goal position with a rookie kicker. And what does Belichick do? Every other intelligent head coach with a rookie kicker in the rain runs that ball dead center into the field, so you have a better opportunity to kick the ball directly in the weather. So you can adjust for the wind, the factors, the strength. What does Belichick do? He runs a play to the right hash. So now the kicker, the rookie kicker, is kicking into the bad weather, into the rain, into the wind, all the way from the right hash. And what happens? He misses. The most brilliant tank move that I have ever seen in the history of the NFL when you're not really tanking. And he's sitting there at 3 and can grab his quarterback. Well, he's not sitting, but I'm saying the Patriots are sitting. I should rephrase. The Patriots are sitting there at 3. And they can draft the quarterback. They should give a big, wet, sloppy kiss to Bill Belichick. Not only for winning the rings, but for doing what he did. MK5 says, honestly, the Giants were probably one of those teams that feels blocked. I agree. I don't disagree. OG says, there's like 7 or 8 teams in the NFC East. Only that's better than the Giants right now. This season is going to suck for all the others. The problem is when your team sucks the most.
That's what she said.
You're not going to get any of those wins. Danny Duds, what are you saying, Danny Duds? When they drafted Daniel Jones, I said it was a reach and would set the team back years. Oh, I agree. I agree. I said the same thing. I said, why didn't you take Josh Allen, the linebacker? Well, I told people, watch the stream. I was dressed as Elvis. Why not? I meant to say, no, I know what you meant, brother. It's okay. It's all good. Razzle Great says, I don't think the whole front office thinks it's smarter than everyone. I think the owner is the one with DJ because he still gives him that vibe. What vibe? I mean, I'd like to know. I'd like to know. What vibe do you think he's giving them? I don't know. As a Cowboy fan, I like Cowboy fans. Let's see here. What trade market value for Jones? $3 and a half a biscuit. Nathan Clark says, as a Cowboy fan, I think it's insulting how the Giants are running the team. They don't pay their homegrown good players, and they pay outside and average players. No wonder they've been bad for years. Nathan, you're a Cowboy fan, and I would come after you, but you're right. You're not wrong. I hate Jerry Jones. I can't stand him. But Cowboys, even though they choke in the playoffs, are perennial winners, even with what people consider to be a bad coach in Jason Garrett. But they understand oh my God, crazy film almost hit my car. What? Hold on. I'm going to get back to you, Nathan. I got to see what happened to what happened. Don, you have to put a super chat and talk to me. Big Don says, Tim, crazy film of drivers hit my car. I was leaving from my first job to another. I'm at the other job site now, not driving. Were you listening to the show when you were driving? Don, you and I have talked about this. You don't listen to the show when you're driving. I have a hard enough time getting subscribers and people to follow this crap. And if I lose people, you need to start thinking about me, brother. It's not about you. It's about me. So you drive carefully. You park before you listen to the show or type. Think about me, not yourself. I'm the most important thing.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Don, I really do hope you're okay. I hope she didn't hit your car. I saw you almost got hit by a car. I was reading on another screen and I thought it said you got hit by a car. Brother, you shouldn't be driving either. Those that are driving, park. I'm only going to be on for like another hour. Park. Eat your sandwich. What's the weather? I have to go back to Nathan, but I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay, Miss Brunner. Don. I really do hope you're okay, man. You know, Don, man. The hell, bro. But to Nathan's point, we're at times the Giants are a shit show wrapped in a sea of diarrhea, and that's not a pleasant visual image. I know that, which is why I said it. But you hope it's going to get better. I hope the boy wonder, known as Joe Shane, comes up with something and does something and makes something happen that's going to take all of us by surprise. I really do. I hope, and it's the hope of all hopes, that we are going to figure something out, that something special is going to happen. And I love how people grade our free agency by the Brian Burns trade. Well, the Brian Burns trade is really not free agency. We traded for him. We did. And the whole Spider-Man thing bothers me because I don't like Spider-Man. You know what I like?
I'm Batman.
You know I like Batman instead of Spider-Man. Anthem. Amen, Nathan. Danny Dodd said, Nathan Clark said, by the way, you're the only Giant content creator I listen to. I parrot your takes to my Giant fans and friends. They look, and I look like a genius when it all comes true. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Nathan. You know, it's really funny. Now that we've been doing like daily streams almost in some regards, I have so many people coming to the chat that aren't Giant fans. And I love it. We had so many people in the chat yesterday. We're like, I'm a Bears fan. I'm a KC. I had the other person the other day say to me, listen, could you do a Kansas City Chiefs channel? But thank you, Nathan. Thank you. I actually really appreciate that. What's up to Protects? What's worse than Daniel? What's worse than year 6 of Daniel Jones? Year 7. Hey-oh. What's up, Brandon? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Tim. Do you think that Dable and Shane's last years that they screw up the draft? If they screw up the draft and they win 4 games, they're both gone. Normally, I go with the scenario of the Giant way, which is to fire a coach, fire a coordinator, then fire the head coach, and then fire the general manager. That's usually what they do going back to basically, that's what they did going back to Tom Coughlin. But I think in this scenario, if Shane flames out or Dable flames out, and Shane is going to flame out, then what's going to happen is we're going to turn around and have nobody, because the ownership and maybe Tish will sit there and say, this is not working again. We can't go into year 4 of a rebuild of a rebuild of a rebuild. I just loved it. Nathan, that just cracked me up because someone just DM'd me on Twitter. And they basically said, I love you because Giant fans hate you because you're always right. I'm not always right. I was wrong about Malik Willis, but I wasn't really wrong about Malik Willis. And people will point out that I was wrong about the Rasheed Slater. Of course, he got hurt. So you're not always right. You're not going to be right about everything. I would say here we are probably right about 97, 80, like 90% of the time or 80% of the time, somewhere around there. But we don't think with passion on this channel. And I'm talking about all the subscribers and all the people that watch. And we have 130 plus people that are in the YouTube stratosphere. Make sure you hit the like button. Oh, we're up to 53 likes. That's pretty good. But we think with logic. We think our thought process lead us to a logical conclusion. And a lot of people that hate me and hate this channel, it's funny because they'll leave comments and they'll tell me, well, I hate you because you're right. But the problem is with you being right, you're right too early. You say things too early. Give us time to enjoy the moment because you wreck the moment. And that was a perfect segue into my Crash Davis. Damn. Someone's got to come to my house and label this board. I need to get an intern. I need to get an intern. Here we go.
It was great, huh? Your fastball's up, your curveball's hanging. The show they would have ripped you.
Can't you even let me enjoy the moment?
The moment's over.
All right. There is only one up from here. You're right. Go Gators. Yeah, man. My brother, the big Gator fan. Is what's his name? Travis going to get drafted? Is he going to get drafted? I still like Keon. What's his name? Johnson. I smell another Kenny G. I hope to God not with Burns that we don't have another Kenny G. I hope to God not. I know, guys, I'm running behind on the chat, but it's hard. This is difficult sometimes.
That's what she said.
What is this? Anthony says, I hate DJ and the ownership's love affair with him. I do too. MK5 says, if Penix is there at the Cardinals' second round pick, I am doing whatever it takes to trade up then. You might have to. I think Penix is going to fall, but I think Penix is still going to be a hot commodity. We also have Dion always came out and said he doesn't want his son playing for cold weather states, so he ain't going to the Giants. But you were sold on Malik Willis. I just talked about that, and I'm still sold on Malik Willis because you give Daniel Jones 6 years, Malik Willis gets 4 games, and he had a coach that didn't believe in him, and he lost his general manager and his offensive coordinator. And there was a lot of behind-the-scenes shits going on with him and Ryan Tannehill, but we don't want to talk about that, even though they wrote an article about how Ryan Tannehill may have been a little racist to Malik Willis. Go to the Tennessean and read it. What's Christopher said? Hey, Tim, what's up, Christopher? Everyone in the chat, go Big Blue. Danny Duds is right. Of course he is, Mr. Cutthroat. You know that. TJ1 says, hey, you're right. Do you know OG is in one of those videos, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I was way behind. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I know he's in that video. I love OGR. I know he's in that video. I got my shake. Because you want to know why? My milkshake makes all the girls in the yard say, drink your milkshake. Because it's healthy and it has antioxidants and other stuff in it that makes you healthy. That is one big ass straw.
That's what she said.
Hung Dave, what's up? Trade back, get more picks, and get Penix. We're definitely not getting DJ or Drake May. Jaden Dales, I know. It is a funny video. I did see that. It is a funny video. Mr. Christopher says, I hope these fans realize it depends on the O-line coach to get these to block. Please, Giant football gods, smile down on the New York Football Giants. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. I mean, the football gods are literally going to have to smile on the Giants. They're going to have to. because of the fact that we also brought in, what's his name, Ellie Moore, whatever his name is. I can never say his name. From the Raiders. And he's a guy that he's just really been starting for the last couple of years, and he's been more of a swing tackle and guard. So on a good team, to me, he's a depth piece. On this team, is a starter. And that should worry a lot of people, because I keep getting this Cam Fleming vibe from him. And I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know at this point in time. I don't want another. It's not that Cam Fleming, was a bad guy, but I don't want another Cam Fleming starting. We have to call down to the football gods. Hold on, we need to call down to the football gods. Let me see if they're available. Hello, football gods. This is Tim from OBB. We are hoping that you could come down and maybe end our suffering by allowing us to have a credible offensive line coach. Hallowed be thy name. All right, we called down to the football gods. Hopefully that's gonna work out. If it doesn't, we're gonna be in a lot of problems. Clap Silverado TV. Let's clap hard. Oh, I like Silverado in the movie. Do you think DJ could have been better success behind a mildly upgraded offensive line? No. Because even at his best, DJ could never figure out how to read the field. He has zero pocket presence, zero pocket awareness. I did a video after the 2019 season that says if he doesn't figure out his pocket awareness, gain some presence, and understand maneuverability within the pocket, he's going to get himself killed. And people are like, you're just being negative. No, I watched a quarterback get hit on the blind side from his front. Yes, he didn't see a guy, and he's done it multiple times, coming directly at him. So his front blind side was not. He had no front blind side awareness. Moet says, Daniel Jones reminds me of Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. I'm going to say you in the movie in my brain. Big Blue Forever says, what's going on with you and Carl Banks? Nothing I know of. There was a rumor, and I don't know if it's true because I never looked, because I told people I was going to look and I lied. That Carl Banks and Bob Papa, who thinks I'm somebody else, he's not nice to me. And in this woke world, that's not nice not to be nice to people. Like I give a fuck. But I just don't like the fact that he thinks I'm someone else on Twitter. He even said it during the town hall. He's like, oh, I battled you on Twitter. I don't even follow you on Twitter, Bob. I barely talk to anyone on Twitter. But evidently they did a podcast, I think someone said on Sunday. And I guess, I don't know if I was the direct topic of conversation, but they were talking about somebody that was talking about Carl being a homer and all this. And a lot of people put, I guess, like, I don't know. I didn't listen. But maybe they did talk about me directly or not, but they were saying that, Carl came out and basically admitted he was a homer, admitted he was a Daniel Jones fan, which was great because, if you have a problem, the first thing that you need to do is admit it. So I never got to hear the podcast. I don't even know where the podcast is. It's BBBBVL or something. I don't know. I don't got time to watch shit. I told people, if you want me to watch it, send me the clip, but don't send me the whole freaking thing. Just send me if it's from minute 17 to 19, then maybe I'll watch it. But to be perfectly honest, I probably still won't. Tim, yes. What is your honest assessment? What is the most realistic move they take in the draft? I think they're going wide receiver. I think they're going to wide receiver 1. I think they're going to go offensive lineman 2. And I think they're going to hope and pray that someone falls to 3 in reference to developmental quarterback. And then, like I said, everyone thinks I'm in love with Joe Milton. Well, one content creator does. It's not that I'm in love with Joe Milton. I think Joe Milton's got a high quality NFL arm. I think he's got beyond an NFL arm. I think he has all the physical intangibles to be an NFL quarterback. He just never put it together completely in college, even after everything with Hendon Hooker. And even after he got last year as a start. I mean, as a full-time starter. But if you want to look at a guy that if you want to take in the 6th or 7th round that has all the physical intangibles to be an NFL quarterback and has got a big arm, Joe Milton's your guy. Just saying. I wish this was a smooth taste of Black Rifle coffee. What's up, John? Any hope with the quarterback next year, or do we need to reach for JJ at 6? Is JJ a reach at 6? 100%. JJ McCarthy, we've said it before, in the last 2 years in college, 649 passes. He was not asked to carry the team. He was asked to be a part of the team. And people will tell you, well, when he had the opportunity to carry the team, he was awesome. Well, we talked about this before. 2 years ago, there was a quarterback who was 7th in the league in deep ball passing with only 13 attempts. And he completed 7 of them. And the 2 touchdowns he had were broken down plays that went to Darius Slayton, and one ball was almost intercepted in the Texan game that Darius Slayton on his own took it for touchdowns. Oh, yeah, it was Daniel Jones, for those that didn't know. So I'm not saying JJ McCarthy's Daniel Jones, but if someone has a small sample of work and you're using that as he has consistency doing something, that's when it's a reach. And I can't take I just find it so weird that there's like a Daniel Jones-esque guy. I'm not saying that McCarthy has the same skill set. I think they're 2 different players skill set wise, but there's a Daniel Jones-esque guy in McCarthy who was an unknown that people could reach for. When Skip Bayless in 2019 came out and said, and I remember this clearly because I was listening to the show and I almost drove off the road. This is why you don't drive. He said, there is a surprise team on the top half of the draft that may take or will take Daniel Jones. Well, let's talk about that right after this message. And I remember I had a doctor's appointment and I had to get out of the car. Long story short, I was late to the doctor's appointment. And I kept saying over and over again, please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. Please. And motherfuckers, the Giants. JJ's smoke screen, bad at pick at 6. I do agree. I think it's a bad pick at 6. What does Jared say? Josh Allen made so much more sense than Daniel Jones. And like I said, we've gone over this before with Tom Coughlin. It was literally with the 6th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants select quarterback Daniel Jones, Duke. And literally, Tom Coughlin ran his pickup because as soon as the commissioner said Daniel Jones, Duke, there was no pause, and you heard, next on the clock is the Jacksonville Jaguars pick is already in. That's how much he just ran in. Danny Dimes has to be the bridge quarterback to Archie Mee. Archie's got to start first. He's got to win the job first. Big Greg says, Greg would like to make his return to the live chat. Greg, you can make your return to live chat whenever you want. When do you want to come on, brother? Just tell me. What if they go 3 quarterbacks, then Harrison and Neighbors at 4 and 5, then the Vikings come calling for Shane's 11th and 23, would move up to 6, knowing the Vikings are taking JJ? If the Giants, no, I did not watch the Banks interview. Guys, and Greg, you know this. I don't really watch much shit Giant related. I really don't. Because I don't like my opinion to be skewed or askewed. Or whatever the big word is of the day. We're going to have the word of the day. Word of the day. What's going to be the word of the day? Let's see. We're going to pick the word of the day. Hold on. Let's see where the word of the day is. Da-da-da-da-da. We're going to find the word of the day. Just everyone amuse themselves while I find the word of the day. Okay, we have the word of the day.
The word, sir? The word is no. I am therefore going anyway.
That was Admiral Kirk. No, I did not watch the bank interviews. I did not watch Ohio. I was born in a crossfire, Ohio hurricane. What's up, Tim? I have no idea what direction Shane is going. Am I crazy? No, you're not crazy. Do we need to have an intervention? You're not crazy. It's not you. It's me. That's the Joe Shane relationship thing right now with Giant fans. It's not you, Joe. It's me. I must be crazy, Joe. I must be. No, you're not crazy. Those that question, those that think, those that have a mind of their own, those that sit there and can pontificate and have a rational thought about this team are not crazy. You are called a hater. You are called a naysayer. You are called a person that's not joining the collective. You didn't join the Borg. Captain Picard didn't suck you in. Because you want to know why? Because you can think for yourself. How many times have we said it on this channel?
Because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green Jell-O all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas drinking a banana broccoli shake singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener.
Boom. That's why you're here. That's why you listen. That's why you watch, because you get it. You're not just a fan. You're like what I like to refer to as an intelligent fan, because you can think for yourself. Greg says, come on, people, hit that damn like buttons. What's up, Big Kevin? The only reason we have trouble with followers is most of them like podcasts that speak bullshit to them. I can speak bullshit. I could do that. I really, you know what's funny? We actually do very well on the podcast. And I always get amazed. We always, between the Twitter doohickey and this thing, we usually have a couple 200 people, 300 people for lunch. And someone's like, why do you always do a lunch stream? Because I'm lazy. And I don't want to do a stream at night. Because I have a family. And I like to hang out with them. You drive me crazy. Hope always springs eternal. Don says, I was listening to your show when it almost happened. She swung around a quarter fast. Thank goodness I drive fast through parking lots. Big Don almost had a accent. I agree with you. You have to take a chance at quarterback at 6. You do. Take a shot. Don't take a Daniel Jones shot. If you want to take a quarterback at 6 and May's gone, Daniels is gone, and Caleb is gone, you know what you do? You grab Penix. If you want to shoot for the stars and hopefully or shoot for the moon and land upon the stars, you know what you do? You take Penix. I think outside of Caleb Williams, Penix has the highest upside, but it's the injuries and the age. It kind of scares people away. OG says, Tim keeps it real all the time if you didn't already know that. Thank you. Daryl says, the fact Divine fans hate you for being right really doubles down on the dumbest fan base statement. I didn't make the statement about the dumbest fan base. I've mentioned it a couple times. There are multitudes of articles and I guess like surveys about who had, and they broke it down in sports. And one was for the NFL. One was which fan base is the dumbest fan base. And the Giants won. USA! We won. And then they had another article where they did like all the sports, except soccer, because soccer's not a sport. It's running around in shorts, kicking a ball. Okay, that's not a sport. But I'm joking. Not really. But then they did a thing where they had all the fan bases, and we won again. It's 2, so we're like undefeated. I love the truth, even if it hurts. Oh, yeah, I do too. The truth is easier to swallow than a lie.
That's what she said.
A giant, elegant, El Gigante. You were right about Hyatt. I was hoping. Hyatt, man. Hyatt, just the fact, I thought he was going to be like a Devontae Smith and use his speed to get off the line, but he got knocked off his route so many times and he got jammed up at the line so many times. But then you had a problem that you had a quarterback that couldn't throw him the damn ball. So I'm not wrong about Hyatt yet. We should trade. He shouldn't have drafted. We should trade him to Tennessee, but then even Tennessee doesn't win. Penix is very interesting if we trade back with the Vikings. If Penix is there, I would see that. I would do that. I would take Penix. Like I said before, if I had a choice, I would go Caleb, Daniels, Penix, May, McCarthy. Those would be my guys. That would be my lineup in reference to the quarterback position. Drinking and stuff. This is called ASMR. For those that do not know, I don't know what ASMR is. El Gigante says 130 people, 130 likes. Hit the damn like button. Let's go. God give Giant fans the hardest battles. He does. Giants should bring back Ernie Accorsi out of retirement. I don't think Ernie Accorsi wants to deal with this crap. I know I wouldn't. Craig says Penix injury history makes him a second-round pick at best. He's older than most. Most of the guys coming out that are developmental picks are guys who have been in college since 19. Hell, was it Radler or was it Radler or was it Joe Milton? I can't remember which one it was. One of them's been in college since Daniel Jones came into the league. How do you feel about Sanders when he played against Caleb? It's one game. Said it before. I need a body of work. I don't need just one game. You know that, brother. David, I'm glad I get a chance to catch a show. I want to join you to talk Penix. When's your next night show? I just talked about the fact that I like doing shows at night. Anybody listen? Dave, for you, I'll pick a night. Email me. You know what, Dave? Email me at tim@onlineBigBlue.com and tell me what night you're available, and I'll pick a night for you, brother. I will. Serious. I'm not lying. I'll do it. I'll do it just for you. It'll be the Dave and Tim hour with Greg. DJ has proven he was a bad pick at any number. If he was the last pick in the draft, no, he wouldn't have been. No, he wouldn't have been at all. What's up, my brother? How are you doing? When are you going to come on the show? Craig says extra picks don't mean anything. It's an extra ball in the lottery, but most will be losers. But if you don't take a chance, you're never going to win. Don't take a chance. You don't win. You don't play. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. It's also in my favorite book, Pat Riley, The Winner Within. I have so many copies of this book. This is the hardcover I have. I was reading it the other day. I have a hardcover copy, I have a softcover copy, and I also have it on my iPad. Great book if you haven't read it. Rob says, I have JJ McCarthy as the sixth quarterback of this draft. I'm generally confused about the JJ hype. You know what it is, Rob? The JJ hype is this. It's the unknown. He won a national championship, but people will use the national championship game against Penix. He had a bad game. Look at all those deep balls he missed. And he did. If he didn't miss some of those throws, he doesn't miss some of those throws, there's a different outcome to that game because he had guys wide open and he missed that he usually doesn't miss. So they use that as a game to bash Penix. But the problem is you could do the same thing with McCarthy. McCarthy did not complete a third or a fourth down pass in that game till the end of the third quarter. It was the running game and the defense that kept them in the game, not JJ McCarthy. So it's the unknown with McCarthy. It's the unknown, the fact that he won a championship, but it's the unknown what he could do because of the fact that he only threw 659 passes in the last 2 years in college. And he wasn't asked to carry the team. He was asked to be a bit player. So there's that unknown factor. What's up, Turbo? I can't wait for football season. Didn't football season already start? No, not yet. You're actually right. God, I hope they take Penix at 6 over JJ. Just might take the season off if they do. I renewed my season tickets. People look at Penix injuries too much. Just because he got injured in college doesn't mean he's going to injure. You know, Douglas, that's 100% right. Just because he was injured in college does not mean he was injured and he's going to be injured in the NFL. There has been plenty of players who had an injury history in college who never got hurt in the NFL. But it's 2 ACLs. I believe in the same knee. I've had the same thing. Now, mind you, this was back. I had surgery back in the Stone Age, but it's not easy. Giants better get JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix. I do not want Bo Nix. You want to talk about the antithesis of a one-read quarterback who flamed out in Auburn, who took his last year, his fifth year, I guess, at Oregon, and the Oregon coach figured it out. He goes, you know what? Bo's got all the talent. Bo, in reference to physical ability, Bo has the arm strength. Bo has the mobility. Bo has all these things. But you know what Bo don't know? Don't ask Bo Jackson, but you know what Bo don't know? How to read the field. He's a one-read quarterback. That's what they did with him at Oregon. And we talked about the brilliance of Pat Shurmur. That most people are like, if Pat Shurmur would have been here for year 2, Daniel Jones would have been so much better. No, I think he would have gotten worse. Pat Shurmur understood, listen, I got a 57-year-old Eli Manning. I got a rookie quarterback. I got to win some games to save my fucking job. Eli's not going to be able to do it. Eli's washed up. I'm going to go with the kid. I'm going to surprise him in the Tampa game. I'm going to open it up, but then I'm going to make him a one-read quarterback. and I'm going to cut the field in half. And I'm going to give him two options. I'm going to give him a deep shot, and I'm going to give him the first read. What he needs to do is just take read number one, and you can do that for a period of time and be successful. But it's when the defense gets filmed. We always go back to Rick Meyer in his Seattle days when he was taken in the first round from Notre Dame. From the league standards at that time, Rick Meyer had a stellar rookie season in Seattle. They got film on the league. You know what they figured out? Rick Meyer can't read defenses, and he can't throw to his left. So what did they do? Team stacked the right side of the field and made him go left. That's what happened. So he would not have improved under Shermer. I think it would have been the exact same results. What's up, Barbara? Tim, if you're already own a Barkley jersey, would you buy an Eagles jersey? Why would you buy an Eagles jersey? Because I'm going to buy an Eagles jersey. Because I don't support the team. I'm supporting Barkley. That's the thing. When I'm rooting for the Giants, I'm not rooting usually for a specific player. I'm rooting for the team. But Barkley's no longer on the team. I support Saquon. I think Saquon got a raw deal. I think all the issues that people say plague Daniel Jones evidently have nothing to do with Saquon Barkley. And I think Saquon Barkley's issues are more compounded by having a bad quarterback. We talked about this. In 18, Saquon Barkley had his best season. Eli Manning under center. He had what, 70 passes, 90 balls, whatever he caught, because Eli Manning knew how to use him out of the backfield. He knew how to put him in position to make him successful. 2019 rolls around. Barkley has the injury. The injury occurred when Daniel Jones threw him a bad pass and Barkley tried to make a play because he was trying to do too much. Then what happened? Barkley had 1,000 yards, but he still had an off season. And he had only 4 100-yard rushing games that year, 2019. 3 of them came with Eli Manning under center because Eli Manning understood how to use Saquon. He understood this is how I put Barkley in position to be successful. This is where I place the ball where Barkley can catch it. People talk about the 2 interceptions that Barkley had that he should never have. They should last year. In the Dallas game, he threw the ball behind Barkley. In the other game, he threw the ball behind Barkley. I think it was Eagle. He threw him behind Barkley as he was falling down. A bad quarterback can compound a bad offensive line and hurt other players on their team, like their wide receivers or running backs and their tight end. Can't wait for the season to start. Me too. What do we got here? The Giants are the only franchise in the NFL not to have a minority quarterback since the I know. They're also the only franchise in the NFL never to draft a minority quarterback, and they're also the only franchise in the NFL. They were one of the last teams in the NFL to have a African American quarterback start and win a game, and they are been in the league for 102 years. As you all know, guys, we don't shy away from race here. We talk about everything. What does Bruce say? What does the guy, Giant guy says the Giants can't miss out on other deep wide receiver class. It's a wide receiver class, but here's the problem. Can have someone throw him the ball. Brig Bruce says Penix injury doesn't scare me more than to compete with the current quarterback room. Hey, listen, he passed all of his physicals, evidently, Penix. I mean, that's got to give you something. He passed all of his physicals. How are we doing the likes? We're stuck on 73. There's 140 people watching. We're stuck on 73. Listen, if you want to keep doing this at lunchtime, you gotta get up to like 74. Colin. You know what I love sometimes? I think about it. I think about it sometimes when people are at work. And that's why I like to scream to people's names. Because they're probably sitting there taping, listening to the show, and it's like, okay, yeah, Giants guy said this, and I was like, oh, Colin. He's like, there's that video some years back about this. It's a video, and they always tell you turn up the volume all the way, and it's a low volume video, and it's this scenic ride through this countryside, and you're watching it for like a minute, and you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. I think it's kind of cool. Then all of a sudden, a zombie screams at the top of his lungs, and you have it on 100, and it goes through the entire office, and you literally jump back like you just got shot. I love that video. Why do I bring that up? I fell for that video. What do we see? They won't get Penix because we don't draft the black quarterbacks. You're not wrong. We haven't. I mean, you want me to say we were wrong? OG says right now, where do you rank Daniel Jones out of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL? All 32. Daryl says, Bo Nix, Joe Milton were in college when Daniel's Nix. That's right. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. I'm a little behind on that, but thank you, Daryl. Giants guy said, I won't be mad if the Giants move up and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Who's going to throw him the ball? And I'm not trying to be facetious. Just Giants guy. Who is literally going to throw him the ball? Drew Lock. Drew Lock. Everyone talks about the Giant game and how he led that 77-yard drive to beat. I was at the Giant game. I was at that game. He was like 2 for 6 for like 60-something yards, and it was on a busted play by the Giants, and that 11-yard run was just horrid about what the Giants did. We were all excited when he came into the game, and then he goes 2 for 6, and we don't want to talk about that. Drives me crazy. Kevin says, I mean, you have those that keep you shit about Malik Willis, but ignore all the rational things you've said and write about, and I don't think you're wrong about Malik Willis, dude. You know what? You never got a chance. I don't care that I was wrong. And it doesn't matter. I'm wrong a lot. Everyone is. A lot of people are, but I'm right more than most people that create content. So I love it. There's like 2 players. I've been doing this since 2020. And there's 2 players that everyone always brings up. No one ever talks about anything else but those 2 players. And they think that hurts me. Really? Have you seen the show? Oh my God. What do we got here? MK5 says, I'm gonna put duct tape on my Saquon jersey and write Singletary. Geno Smith was the first minor quarterback to start the game for the Giants, and Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, we know this. We know this. We talked about this. I'm not gonna get into this. Bingo. We talked about this Sunday, actually. I went through the lineage of quarterbacks and African American quarterbacks on the Giants. We did this Sunday. If you want to go watch Sunday's show. I don't really feel like doing it again. But now I'm sitting there like, well, do I have to do it again? Really?
That's what she said.
Barbara says Sherman tried to buy himself one more year by putting in a rookie that wasn't ready to play, and it backfired only to have him on Jones. Oh, yeah, that's true. But I don't think I don't think it hurt Jones, though. I really don't. Paul says there's been a way too much alignment with the Giants and JJ Shane. I got Shermer on the head, Barbo. Damn. Never tipped his cap. Something else is brewing. Not quite sure what it looks like, but it will be interesting. How much money does DJ cost us this year? I think he's $46 million against the cap. And he's got a huge 47. All right, there you go. OG says getting Baker would have saved the Giants a lot of money. Baker went to $8 million to go to Tampa last year. And Tampa, after him throwing for over 4,000 yards, winning the Super Bowl, winning or going to the playoffs, they looked at Baker and said, well, Baker, we don't know if you're the right fit for this team. I was like, really? The Giants won a playoff game against one of the worst defenses I've seen in 30 years, got blown out in Philadelphia, and they go, you're worth $160 million. Payday. And I'm not talking to Carl. I'm not talking to Candy Bar. You know, it's funny. I have 2 monitors. And I'm trying not to read the other monarchs. I'm trying not to get ahead of the quotes. I'm not get ahead of the chat, but I got another Carl Banks question. Oh my God. What do we got here? Plus, Baker had a better season last year than Daniel Jones had so far. Look up his stats. If Daniel Jones did that, he would be a god in New York. Oh, I got a thumbs down. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. You hurt my heart. Fuck you. Let's see. I would take anyone over Daniel Jones at this point. Yeah, me too. Mr. Moet says, when the media asked Brian Dable if Jones is his quarterback for the future, thank God Doug doesn't play poker. Oh, I love that video. I love that video when he sits there and goes, he's pontificating about Josh Allen. and Patrick Mahomes and how Josh Allen's this quarterback and this guy and this quarterback, and he does this and he does this. And then you figure he's done because he's going on the next question. And then he goes back and says, Josh Allen makes you a better coordinator. He makes you a better coach. And it's like, dude, you just ended the contract. You just finished you finished the comment and you're still talking about Josh Allen. And then he asked him about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is our starting quarterback. Oh, I got a thumbs up. It balanced out the thumbs down. I told Bagadol and Chris about getting Baker Mayfield and laughed at me 2 years ago. They shouldn't be laughing at anybody. Except for Bad Dog. I like Bad Dog. And I like Bad Dog as a person. I got no problem with Bad Dog. He's got a good sense of humor. Big Blue Forever says, will Carl Banks come on? No. Even if he watches this shit show, do you really think he's going to want to come on? Because I'm actually going to ask him questions. I would actually ask him a question. You can't have that. I'm actually gonna ask you a question that you may have to answer. And it's nothing against Carl. He works for the Giants. I get that. Yeah, and like I said, if he came out on this episode or podcast or whatever the hell it was and said that he was a homer and he owns up to it, I put the Carl Banks helmet back on top of the computer. I took the Carl Banks helmet off the computer. This has been on that computer for 10 years. I took it off the computer and I replaced it with my Eli Manning helmet. My autographed Eli Manning helmet. The one that I won, for those of course, who don't know, the one that I won for being the season ticket holder fantasy football league winner for the Giants. And when I heard this on Sunday that Carl Banks said he was a homer and he's a Daniel Jones fan, I dusted off the helmet and I put it back on top of the computer. So it will stay there until, I don't know, probably until I take it off. I don't know. Just lazy. I'm not going to take it off. It's too much effort to keep reaching over there. So it's going to stay there. It's going to stay there. But he is welcome to come on anytime he wants. Same with Bob Pop. I invited them both on. Come on. Let's chat. I'm nice. Nothing wrong with me. I'm a nice guy. What am I, a fucking clown? What do I amuse you? What's so fucking funny about me? Joe Pesci. Long story short, Big Blue Forever. No, neither Carl Banks or Bob Papa will ever come onto this train wreck. I don't blame them. And I understand if they didn't because of the fact that why would you literally want to answer questions truthfully? Because I'm going to ask, I would be respectful. I've said this before. I would be respectful. I would be nice. I would be nice to him, but I would actually ask questions. My first question to Carl Banks would be this. Just so that he knows what my first question would be, I would give him some of the questions and let him know what my first question is going to be.
What's your first question gonna be, Tim?
My first question would be, does Brian Banks trade move the needle on the Giants win-loss total? That would be my first question. I would even give him the questions ahead of time, both of them. That's a lie. Ask the screener at the town hall. Told this story before when I asked my Daniel Jones question. The one that got Bob mad at me. Thought I was somebody else. Loved it. Go to the screener. You stand in line. You got to get screened to give questions to the panel. And I was like this. James Williams is ahead of me. And then it was me. And I didn't think I was going to get a chance to ask a question. But then they're like, okay, we got time for a couple more questions. So the screener goes to James. James says something about the Cowboys. And then the screener goes to me. Who do you want to ask a question to? So thinking, because sometimes you got to think. Thinking, I was like, because I knew what I was going to ask. Thinking, I was like, Kayvon Thibodeau. So she goes to me, okay, well, I'm going to put something ahead of you because James fucked it up for me. I said he wanted to ask a question to Kayvon Thibodeau. So we're going to put someone ahead of you. So you can ask, because someone's gonna ask. You don't have consecutive questions, the same guy. So someone else comes ahead of me and there's a Daniel Jones question. And then I love it because then they come to me and the lady leads me up to the mic and she's like, okay, here you go. So thinking I'm going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, no. So, I got to play that video. The Giants want a prototypical quarterback. They want a tall, white, vanilla personality pocket passer. Does it have to be vanilla? Can we have Rocky Road? Can we have chocolate chip mint? I don't mind if it's an alien. I'm on this diet. I can't eat ice cream. I can't eat anything really. I get a shake. The shake's actually really good. It's a medically prescribed diet. Don't get old. It sucks. McAdoo, Shermer, Judge, the Three Stooges. Eric says, DJ looks like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. See, this is the thing. If I had a producer, I could have killed that spot. I could have killed that segment, dude. Now, and I saw I saw the comments, and maybe I don't need a producer. Maybe I just need a label gun. I have 300 sound effects now. The board does 50 at a time, and then I can have additional boards that will allow me to add more sound effects, but then I have to renumber them all. So let me see here. I'm trying to find it. Hold on, everyone, just amuse yourselves. Just amuse yourselves like I amused myself. I can't hit that button because if I hit that button, I'll go back all the way to the bottom again. Maybe I took it out. Did I do this last time and say I took it out and then I found it? My OCD is not going to allow me not to play this sound effect. So everyone just sit there and amuse yourself. I'm going through 300 sound effects right now. There's probably a way I can type it in and find it, but that will probably make too much sense. And there's B-Rad G from Malibu. There's Billy Bob, let's roll. There's Autobots, let's roll out. What is that? Born Ready, Great Moments, Turf Monsters. We are, what is this one?
A huge problem on the O-line, coach.
I don't think it's because the defensive line is so spectacular.
No.
That was from last year. Oh, here we go.
Telling me there's a chance.
Damn it. Hold on. Barbara says, McAdoo's the Judge and the Three Stooges. Eric says, DJ looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber.
Telling me there's a chance.
Yeah!
All right, there we go. What is Punk Rock Dad said? Sheena is a punk rocker. Sheena is a Zudo at 6 and trade back and grab Penix. I like that already. But I like Neighbors at 6. I'm getting Penix. Pimp says, I'll give you something. I'm going to be honest. In 2 years, I don't know if Joe Shane is still going to be around. I don't think he's going to be around next year. Hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong too. Big Mike says, what is your ideal trade? What is your ideal draft scenario for the Giants? I did a whole video about it. I take Neighbors. I trade back up into the first round and I grab Penix. Chris says, OG says, I like Bad Dog. He's a Daniel Jones lover. And Chris never admits when they are wrong. Plus, they are both Laker fans. Well, I'd be a Laker fan too if I made a shitload of money doing Laker shit. Barbara says, love those autograph helmets, Tim. Wish I had them too. My favorite one, Barbara, is the one over here. Sheena is a punk rocker. Sheena is. My favorite one is over there. That is my full-size autograph Phil Simms helmet. That's my favorite one. I got a YA Tilla one. I got Carl Banks. I got a bunch of autograph helmets laying around here somewhere. Oh, let's go. Let's go. I got the Ramones stuck in my head now. Great. Thanks, Punk Rock Dad. That's what I freaking needed. Something else stuck in my head. No, now I don't like the way I'm centered. Don't like the way I'm centered now, Barbara. Way to go. Now I have to recenter myself. What else we got here? What do we got here? I give Shane an F- for the last 2 drafts. I don't give him an F-. Don't trust him this year at all. I am pro Shane, or excuse me, pro Dable, anti Shane. I don't give him enough. I don't give him enough minus. I don't. You have to give him at least a C just for the Banks pick. Let's see. I heard people complain about tampering or something. This is the thing that people are being dumb about. I'm a bit out of it right now. What happened is the head coach of Penn State allegedly called the Eagles about getting Saquon Barkley signed by the Eagles. So certain segments of Giant fans are saying that's tampering. They should take away all their draft picks. I said a segment of the Giant fans because some of us just want to win by winning, by being good. Other people want to win by default. So they want to take away the entire draft of the Eagles because the Eagles talked to a coach of a guy we didn't tag, weren't planning on signing, and allowed him to go to free agency. Think about that for a second. Tim, what's up, Pimbley? So good. I do kind of want us to draft neighbors so I can hear the Mr. Rogers sound effects. If we draft neighbors, I'm going to have a, won't you be my neighbors? Hello, neighbors. I'm Daniel Jones. I'm not going to throw you the ball. Let's see, Douglas. What's Darius say? I see the Giants trying to build their roster. If the quarterback falls to them in their lap, they take him, but don't reach. But fix an offensive line, which they're trying to do, get weapons. You're fixing an offensive line by bringing in guys. The scouting report on John Runyon Jr., and this is not from me. This is from people in the media. This is people in Green Bay. This is people that you talk to. A scouting report on John Runyon Jr., good pass blocker. Won't give you much in the run game, run blocking game. Don't pull him. Because he has a tendency of tripping over his own feet and landing up on the ground, and has issues with pre-snap penalties. And he was the weakest link in the line of the Packers for the last 3 seasons. And the Packers said that if he asked for something crazy like $10 million, they were never going to bring him back. This is a team that has championship aspirations and beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, and they let their starting guard walk for $6 million. That should tell you about what they think their value is. And the guy from the Raiders, only reason he is here because he's Cam Fleming 2.0 is because that the offensive line coach from the Raiders, who is now the Giants offensive line coach, wanted to bring him over, even though some people will tell you in Las Vegas that the offensive line coach for the Raiders was not really didn't really endear himself to a lot of the players. I don't make this shit up. I don't. What's Ghost one up here? Would you trade down scenario with the Vikings involving Justin Jefferson be feasible? No, we don't have money on the contract. The Ramones, Sheena is a punk rocker. Sheena is rock, Roy Beach. Let's go. One of my favorite songs by the Ramones is the Pet Cemetery. Under the bottom of the wasting bones. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. That's what I remember. Oh, let's see here. I'm tired of playing to watch the Giants. Absolute shitbag. I know. I renewed my season tickets. No one said we're smart. Oh my God, I'm almost caught up. Douglas says, I want the Giants to stop being bad. You and me both, dude. I think it's crazy that Kirk Cousins talking to someone on the Falcon staff before the legal tampering period might get the Vikings another first-round pick. It's crazy. You let these guys go. You're not signing them. What does it matter? I love how R0B is trying to be like me on Twitter. To take a quarterback or not to take a quarterback? That is the question. I love R0B. You know that. But I always said before, if you want to be like me, it's not that. It's to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune or to take arms against the sea of trouble. And by opposing them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by asleep, we shall end the heartache and the thousands natural shocks, the flesh to the air. 'Tis consuming. I forgot about that. I forgot the rest. I forgot the rest. Yeah, I took drama. I admit it. It was good. If Joe Shane is a brain, Daniel Jones would step on the foot of the field next year. This guy, well, you have the injury clause, could wind up and blow. The injury clause would be fireable. There we go. Some people have neighbors ranked higher than Harrison. Do you? I actually like neighbors. I like Harrison higher than neighbors. I do. Why do you want to hold on to a quarterback they know the fan base doesn't want? Because they put so much money. They put so much money involved in it. Oh, one man's trash is another man's trash. Kevin, I've said this before. Sometimes we said this yesterday. Sometimes one man's trash is just another man's garbage. We've said this a million times before. What do we got? Chill Daddy. Hey, Chill Daddy, where you been? Hey, Tim, for those who don't know, what happened with you and Krista Datena? I told him he was too tense and he needed to get a blowjob. You want the abridged version of it? We have different points of views, and he used to think I would make rebuttal videos against him. He would be like, "You made a rebuttal video to me." Ugh. And I try to explain to him, I don't watch you. I don't watch anything about you. I don't watch any giant YouTubers. Sorry, I don't. And I love it because his foil, or maybe it's Batman to Chris's Robin, Bad Dog and I laugh all the time. Because there was times that we would have consecutive days, Bad Dog and I, where we would put out almost identical idea videos. And we used to jokingly go back and forth to each other and say, you're copying me. I mean, literally, he would do a video in the morning, because Bad Dog usually does his videos in the morning. I usually release mine like 11:30. So Bad Dog would do and I do most of my videos the night before. That's the other thing that cracks me up about Chris. He's like, you copy me. You're rebuttaling me. I'm not rebuttaling shit, dude. Get a fucking life. Here's a fucking $1. Buy a life. What I would do is I do my videos the night before, because I got too much. I have kids, so I'm Mr. Mom. I take care of the kids, so I get them off to school. I drive them to school. I do all the stuff. Take care of the dogs. Take care of the house. I do all that stuff, so I don't have time in the morning. Now that the kids are older, they do a lot of stuff on their own. So I do my videos the night before. So I used to laugh because Bad Dog would put out a video at 9:30, and then I would go do my work and their stuff. And then my video would drop at 11:30, and it would be like the identical topic. Not the same, not the same titles, but the idea of the video was almost identical. And we did this a couple times in a row. And then I put out a video early for some reason. I don't remember why. And then he put one out later in the day and was almost the exact same topic again. So I DM'd him and said, dude, you got to stop fucking copying me. You got to stop this shit. You're rebutting me. You're copying my videos. No, it happens. You want to know why? You want a crazy thought? There's almost so much you could talk about in the world of the Giants. When I do a video, and let's say Big Dash, who I love, who I don't know because I haven't watched a Big Dash video in a while. But let's say he does I do a video, and let's say the next day he does a video, and it's the same topic of my video. I don't think he's copying me. No, I think there's only so much you can talk about. When Rob has a stream called "To Take a Giants or Not to Take a Giants," that is the question. Do I think he's really copying me because I like to do Shakespeare? No. There's only so much you can do in the world. There are not a lot of new, inventive, brilliant ideas in the world. Why know why? Because the world's been around for hundreds of years. Everything's been pretty much done right now. So to think that someone's an innovator, that's why I keep telling people, especially in sports. This is what I love. I gotta get off the mic too. This is what I love in sports. Everyone's like, well, I've created this defense. I've done this. This offense. Look at this. Look at this offense. Look, we're running. We're gonna do this. We're putting multiple wide receivers like this or this. Then I look at them and go, that's called the run and shoot by Mouse Davis. Because it's all been done before. There are no new ideas. There are recycled ideas, especially in sports. So there's only so much you can talk about. What do you mean I'm not everyone's cup of tea, Kevin? I'm everyone's cup of tea. I'm a fucking cappuccino, man. Everyone loves cappuccino. All right, guys, I'm going to read these last comments and I got to get out of here. The problem is he's just too sensitive. A lot of giant content creators don't have a life, so they think YouTube is real beefs. I've said this before, and I've always warned people. I tell you where I park. I tell you where I'm at. I'm not a small man. And the people I roll with, we're not a small group of people. I'm not just in numbers, but in size. So when people say shit about me on YouTube, I take it like you're saying it to me in real life. And I always tell people, goes around, comes around. That's why I don't try to start beefs with people. That's why I love when people have beefs with me. They're like, you were talking about me. No, honestly, I wasn't. Because of how you thought about you, maybe I was talking about you. But you think so much of yourself, you think I'm talking about you. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you, don't you? Don't you? Oh, let's see here. The top 5 wide receivers are Harrison, Neighbors, Zudo, Thomas Jr., and Coleman. I like that too. Barbara says, I like you, Tim. You have a sense of humor. I try to. Life is too short not to have a sense of humor. Kevin says, you're not everyone's cup of tea. I don't know, Kevin. Do I need to read the rest of this? I for sure didn't like you at first, but you make sense. I'm subscribed. Like I said, that's all I'm here for. We're just here to have a good time. Life's too short not to have a good time. Remember that, guys. As you get older, you're going to learn this, and the younger people out in the crowd. When you get older, you're going to understand this. Life is going to pass you by so quickly. And 1 minute you're going to be 25, and the next minute you're going to be 50. And you're going to sit there and you think to yourself, did I do everything that I could do in my life to make myself happy? Do things in life that make you happy. Do things in life that make your friends happy. Do things in life that make your family happy. Live your life in a way where there's a constant amount of joy and not worried about what anyone else thinks about you. People say to me all the time, you know what I like about you, Tim? You don't care what people say about you. I don't. You want to know why? Because it doesn't bother me. Certain people that are just basically a flea on the ass of your life. If you allow that flea to bother you, it's always going to be there. If you just brush it off. Because people say I stay out too late. And I got nothing in my brain. But I just shake it off. That's for OGR the Swiftie. Brendan says, one that run. Tim, you're the good seeing you. Can you please explain drafting another offensive lineman in the first round? Wouldn't help that. Besides Thomas, we've missed the opportunity. Rand, we talked about this. Do not go out and get me Joe Alt. Do not get me another left tackle that you're going to make play right tackle and take the right tackle and move him to right guard, even though he came in as a left tackle. Please don't do that to me again. I can't handle it. Gotta felt spills. Specifically, chill, daddy, man. You just want to start shit. And I love it. All right, guys. I gotta give a big thumbs up. Did I like my own video? Can you do that? Can you like your own video? Does anyone know that? Branded, scorned as the one who ran. What do you do when you're branded, but you know that you're a man? They say he ran away. Oh. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I want to thank the 150,000 people that have been watching the show today. We had a lot of fun to talk about. Maybe we'll do a little live stream on Wednesday. Maybe there'll be a giant video on Tuesday. I got no freaking clue. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome. I'm out of here, guys. Peace. Have yourself a good day. Stay safe, everyone.